Thank you very much for your help. I'm really pleased because we got Mark Bove here making Nona Victoria's lasagna, which is like the classic lasagna. And the first time that we met was actually the Throwdown with Bobby Flay.
That's right.
And I was helping those guys arrange local product. And I remember, I know you didn't win, but I remember after that him coming up to you and just being like, when I eat this lasagna and I close my eyes, this is what I imagine lasagna would taste. Like,
that's right. Boy, you got a great memory.
No, I mean, he was really like heartbroken after that show because he's like, when you close your eyes and you eat this lasagna, like this is really rarely do you ever eat something you're like, that's perfect.
Well,
that's what this is.
Well, maybe hopefully he's watching today and he has an idea of a redemption show.
A rematch,
you know?
where he can show up and just eat it.
Absolutely. Wouldn't that be great?
Yeah, he won't cook anything.
That'd be great.
Let's talk about this lasagna and let's talk about, you guys got a lot of things going on.
We have a lot of things happening.
All right.
Yeah, we were actually moved locations for making our meatballs and lasagna from Middlebury closer to Burlington. So the town of Shelburne is actually going to be smelling the garlic from the meatballs cooking in the oven.
And that's great. And you guys, I mean, for the amount of volume that you guys do, handmade.
Handmade. Yeah, it's a labor of love.
Yeah,
I'll tell you.
It's incredible.
People will be able to come to Shelburne Road and actually see us, how crazy we are making each of those store-bought lasagnas by hand. They're not machine-made at all.
No, I mean,
it's unbelievable.
It's remarkable. It's a really amazing product. All right, well, let's get started on making this.
You know, the lasagna is great. You know, and it's a great holiday dish to make because it doesn't take a lot of time, and it involves, you know,
you've been making it for how many years?
I can make it in my sleep, that's for sure. But you know, you can make it with your family and make it with your children. It's very easy to use. Of course, we're going to be using Bove sauce and Bove's meatballs today in the lasagna. And what's very important to do when you first start making the lasagna, when you're boiling the water, you want to season the water. You want to just kind of put a little salt in it.
If you have bland noodles, the whole meal just starts to spiral down.
So what we usually do is, you know, the recipe is online, but you take a jar of sauce and you just want, which is about a 24-ounce jar. It's
a big jar.
Yeah, and so what you want to do is you want to coat the bottom of the pan with the sauce, with the Bove sauce.
And this is so that like you just don't scorch those noodles to the bottom of your pan.
Absolutely. You know, you don't want to put any, you know, people sometimes butter the bottom or use Pam for the. Use the sauce. You want to keep that moisture in the pan and the flavor and everything. My
mother, not Italian, she's Irish, and she used to scorch the living bejesus of noodles to pan, and then I had to wash dishes, which is probably why I got into cooking, so I just wouldn't have to scrape those noodles off.
You know, she usually when the person is cooking, they're not going to be washing too. So maybe you should have.
I think she's just got a sick sense of humor.
So basically, we're going to put the noodles right on top of the sauce, and what I usually do is grab about 3 or 4 meatballs. Yep. And I'm usually kind of generous with the meatballs. But basically, what we do is we just kind of break and crumble them up on the layer of the noodles. Just like that.
Don't stop.
Don't stop. And so we're using Cabot cheeses today. And well, we use them every day actually at the plant. So we're just going to sprinkle the ricotta, kind of pinch that along this layer.
Nice.
Okay. And then after we usually pinch and kind of do a little generous on the ricotta, well, then we're going to grab
And if you don't have gloves for this, buy gloves for this.
Buy gloves for it. And if you don't want to wear gloves, have a nice little tub of water there where you can rinse your hands.
Or if you don't want to, just go buy it, because it's really going to be exactly like this and be really good.
I mean, lasagna is really messy to make, but after we pull it out of the oven, you're going to see the beauty and how
it's pretty epic.
So you know, we're going to just use the shredded mozz and sprinkle that on this layer, and then what you want to do is you want to kind of put a little Parmesan cheese.
It gives it that nice little bite.
Yeah, and then you want to decorate it and add a little color to each layer by putting a little green parsley.
That's great. And then we just keep loading it up.
We're going to load it up. But now what we usually do on the second layer when we're making the lasagna, It's kind of like basket weaving.
Yeah.
Where we're just going to take the noodles and
delicious basket weaving.
Delicious basket weaving, and we're going to like crisscross the noodles.
That's awesome.
And so this will enable the lasagna all to stay together when we pull it out. Because imagine all of those cheeses just melting and oozing together.
I'm just fascinated.
And just falling all over the place.
Because I've been cooking lasagna for a long time, and I have never seen this approach to it. And I'm like, that just makes so much sense. And that just makes me so angry that I've never done this before.
In order, you usually have about a 3 to 4 inch pan when you're working with. So what I like to do is give it a nice little love pat and really compress all those ingredients together. And so when we take it out of the oven, it's really, I mean, it's a nice thick piece. You can see the layers.
It is probably the, at the restaurant, is probably the largest, tallest lasagna I've ever seen in my life. I've never seen, it's usually like this, and it is like.
But that's us. That's our portions.
That's
low
how you
prices.
do it.
A lot of great food that's family style cooking.
That's
right there, right?
So how many noodle layers will we go through?
We're probably going to make about 3 to 4 in this.
If you got a bigger pan, the taller you go, it just seems like it gets better.
The taller
and then
you go.
You bake this for how long?
We're going to bake it for about 45 minutes.
Okay.
At about 375.
All right. So we got one in here in our magic oven. Let's pull it out. And you do the foil on top, right?
We do the foil on top, and it's really important when you're foiling the lasagna. You want to make sure that you create that little tent over the cheese. So when you peel it back, you're not ripping that beautiful layer of cheese off the top.
Which is like it's horrible when you do that. When you see all that cheese just stuck
all that goodness gone. Are you kidding me?
It's making me angry.
So here we go. So the unveiling of a Bove's lasagna.
That's just.
Doesn't that smell great?
It smells awesome.
Too bad we didn't have smell-o-vision today, huh?
Well, you can pretend at home, or you can go pick up a Bove's frozen lasagna and have this at home.
So should I cut the pieces as we cut them at the restaurant, or what?
You should, because people who've never seen it have probably never seen that much food.
Okay. All right. Well, let's do that then. Are you a corner guy or are you a middle guy?
I am a corner guy.
Okay.
Yeah, I love that crunchy on the corner.
I do. I do too. So we're going to just cut that. And it's important when you pull that lasagna out of the oven. I would wait a good 10 minutes.
Yeah.
If you can, to just wait and allow it to cool, because if you just plate it right afterwards, as you can possibly imagine, the lasagna is just going to it's going to collapse on you.
It's got to set a little bit.
It definitely does. So this is what we're going to do.
I love this show too, because it's like I get to have all my calories for the week, and then I just have to have like kale spritzers all week long after this show.
So here we go on the layers, if you can.
Man, that is epic.
And that's it. I mean, that's comfort food for, especially on a nice Vermont,
everybody.
on a Vermont weather day like today.
Oh my gosh. And there's just cheese everywhere, which is just even better.
Absolutely.
All right.
Oh yeah.
I can't wait to dig into this.
I mean, you can see the layers. I mean, that's a good 4 layers.
I mean, when you did that show, it was so funny because you guys had so much lasagna, and literally like all the film crew that was up there from New York, you were just like packing them up with to-go bags to go. Like they were like, this is
wasn't that
amazing.
funny?
I mean, they were just like so excited.
And all the students were they were all texting, and they were saying, "Hey, Bobby Flay's here. They're making lasagna." And it's like all the teachers were like watching all their students like leave from their classrooms and like, what the hell's going on? Is this a fire drill or something? It was pretty cool.
This is just great. I mean, this is just a great quality product.
Awesome.
70 years.
70 years, going strong. Probably not going to be another 70 years, but
you never know. I mean, it's a remarkable story. It's a remarkable history, and it's just great that you came out here to help VPT today, and great that you guys are helping Hurricane Sandy victims.
Thanks for having us. Thanks for